Today we're going to look at taking notes, and we're going to look at 3 different things about taking notes. Why do we take notes? When do we take notes? And how do we take notes? So, for a college student to be successful, they need to take notes, and you need to take notes. Why should you take notes? Well, your instructor is going to give you an assignment to read in your textbook, but when you come to class and they're talking to you, they may not be giving you and talking about the information that's in your textbook. Many instructors assume that if you read what is in the textbook, that what they have to tell you in class is going to be things that are not in the textbook. So you are expected to read what's in the textbook and then listen actively in class and write down important things in addition to what is in the textbook. Why else? Well, writing things down helps you remember. Our memory is best when we use all of our senses. So if you are just listening to what I'm saying, it can go in, but maybe you'll forget it. If you are listening and writing, then you're going to have a better chance to recall that information later when you need it. So writing things down is important for memory retention. People learn in different ways too. Some people learn best by listening. Some people learn best by writing things down. Some people learn best by looking at something. So if you are the type of learner that learns best by being able to look at something or by being able to physically do something, then taking those notes down is going to help you to learn the material better. Also, your notes are an excellent study tool for you. Far better than going back to the textbook and rereading everything in the textbook, or if you highlighted things in the textbook, going back and looking at those highlighted things. If you have taken some notes, then you don't need to do all of that. You can just go and look at the important things that are in your notes, and it will save you a whole lot of time when you're studying. That important information, too, is going to stand out when it's written in a note form. And compare that to a textbook page that is just words, 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 words. If you have notes that are written in an outline form or some other type of form, and you've highlighted things on them, the information and the important information is going to stand out for you. So that's some of the whys of taking notes. Let's look at when you should take notes. Well, your instructor is in there speaking to you. You are in class. Anytime you are in class, you need to be taking notes because that instructor has something important to tell you that you need to learn, and you need to be writing it down so that you are going to remember it. So if you're in class, you need to be taking notes. Your instructor may give you clues, visual cues of when it's important to take notes. For example, they may go first of all, second of all, the third thing. If they're giving you numbers, write those things down. If their body language is telling you this is something really important, write it down. Keep an eye out to how that instructor is speaking. If they're enthusiastic about something, write it down. If they say this is going to be on the test, always make sure that you write it down. Or this is something that you really need to know, write it down. If they say something, if you've done your homework and read the text and you notice that they've said something that is not in the textbook, write it down. Now, something that we don't necessarily think about, right now I've been talking about what the instructor will do, but the classroom has more than just the instructor in it. And we spend a lot of time discussing things among ourselves. So if you have a peer that says something that helps you understand what the instructor is talking about, or helps you understand the course content better, if they say something that is helpful to you, write that down as well. That's going to help you when you're studying. Also, if you are listening, if the instructor is showing any kind of media, videos, audio, anything like that, they're doing it for a reason. think about, what do I want to learn from this? Why is the instructor showing me this? And look for the important points and write them down. All right, we've looked at why to take notes, we've looked at when, but what about how? How do I do this? There are lots of ways that you can take notes. Some of the most common ways are a simple outline. And with that, you would put down the points. For instance, I said we are going to talk about why, we are going to talk about when, and we are going to talk about how to take notes. Those were the key points. And then I listed some things, and I talked about some details about why and when, and now I'm talking about how. So if I were doing a simple outline, it might look something like this, with the key points written down and then indented so that I could quickly and easily see the details. Another way would be a mind map. And if you are a person that likes to look at things visually and graphically, you would do something like this. Put notes in the middle, and why, how, when, and your details off like that. You know, the reality is there are many different ways of taking notes as there are people. You will, every person will find their own best way of taking notes. The important thing is, don't write out sentences. Use key words that are going to help you remember. The instructor is going to be speaking quickly, so you need to just write down those key words. So experiment. Find out what's best for you, your own best way of writing those notes. What does a successful college student do as far as note-taking is concerned? Well, first of all, they do the reading. They come prepared with the homework that the teacher's assigned. They pay attention in class to what's being said or what they're watching. They look for cues from the instructor, from their body language and whatever else that they are saying and how they are saying it. They write it down. They write down the important things. And then once they've done that, they keep it. They keep those notes. They have a system for some place to put those notes and keep them. But most importantly, after they've gone to all the trouble of doing these things and doing them well, they go back and use their notes when they're studying.